Greetings folks, the man here, and welcome to a brand new series on my channel. Now a few weeks ago, something absolutely wonderful happened. A fellow creator by the name of PaleoCraft dropped his brand new add-on on the Bedrock Marketplace. This add-on is called PaleoCraft. What it does is it adds different sorts of dinosaurs and other prehistoric creatures to the Minecraft world. Not only that, he also created a realm which had this add-on active. And when you mix a world full of dinosaurs and crazy players together, you are bound to get something that is very, very, very entertaining. So on that note, I want you to enjoy this. But before it begins, really quickly, I just want to say that this server resets quite frequently, and not all the episodes have continuity between them. But that only means you'll have something new to enjoy every week. Now, enjoy. As soon as I entered the world, I realized it had been attacked by griefers. There were massive cobblestone structures at spawn, and withers not too far away. In order to get away from the withers, I quickly ran downhill and into this small abandoned encampment. And looking at what was going on around the encampment, it wasn't too difficult to see why the encampment would be abandoned. Who would want to live there? Looking around camp, I found some food in this furnace. I hadn't run too far from spawn, but it had still depleted my hunger quite a bit, so I started munching down on the food while I looked for more supplies. I wasn't able to find anything though. The people who lived here must have taken everything with them. They also must have been quite an advanced civilization, as they had black stone structures, evident of traveling to the nether. I also took a crafting table, and gave myself some basic wooden tools. Then I started digging into the soft ground in order to find some stone. At this point in time, I had no idea what I would do. There were dinosaurs, there were withers. It was all chaos. But then came the first sign of hope. A kind man by the name of Jeff was offering to help those in need at spawn. So I crafted myself some stone tools from the stone I'd mined earlier. As God-forsaken as that area felt, I didn't want to rob them. So what I did was I took only the amount of food I would need for the journey to the spawn, and I put my old wooden tools and most of the food back into the chest to help anyone who came there after me. After reaching spawn, I quickly realized that I wasn't the only one rallied by the offer of help. There were others there, other newcomers who had nothing and who saw nothing but destruction around them. Then I met Jeff, an experienced man. He had armor, tools, and he wore the skull of a wither skeleton as a helmet. But it was still unclear in what way exactly was this man gonna help us all. And that stayed unclear for quite a bit, as all of us were distracted looking at this very funny sign. But then I asked the million-dollar question. Did they have any civilization there? Joining a pre-existing society would be much easier than building one up from the ground. And then I received the answer. A resounding yes. I also was told that there were more, which were wiped out in the war against the griefers. After learning what was going on around here, I went out and hunted the small creature for food. And then we were asked a very, very important question by Jeff. He asked us if we would want to join the Rex Empire. As I said earlier, joining a pre-existing society would be a lot easier than building a new one. We are in danger. The more I keep trying to find life, the more I feel dead inside. There is that one other feeling, one I wish never to feel again. Even looking into those animals' eyes, can feel it. Him. I'm going out again to see what I can find. These were the words written on signs in a small hut that we passed while we were hunting our way towards the Rex Empire. After a long journey, we finally reached large wooden steps, the doorsteps of the Empire. It felt good to finally see structures made by not griefer nor beast, but made by man. As we got up to the actual base, it was a quaint area. Jeff offered us a place to stay and supplied all of us with beds. I quickly gathered up some wood from the abundance of trees around me and put together a small shack. It was nothing much, but just a place to lay down if I needed to. In the camp there was also a gravestone that read Jimmy Boy. I asked him. Apparently it was a friend of Jeff's, a pet who passed away. I needed my spawn point to be as protected as possible, so I went and sought out this cave where I put my bed. I walked around the base for a little bit, saw things, gifts given, memories. Then I went down to the river that flowed by in order to hunt some fish. They were the most reliable form of food that I had at that point in time. The hunt was quite successful and I had food for the next few days. Then I got back and put up a sign on my little shack, dubbing it the home of the man. But the unfortunate piece of information that I did not have at the time was that I would never return to this place ever again. Never would I sleep in my own house ever on this server. Not even once. But in spite of these stories lasting for only one episode, they are endearing. The struggle of men trying to survive in a weird, wonderful, horrible world. And survive is what we did. After gathering up some grain from the small farms in the base, I went down into a cave and mined a significant amount of iron, enough to protect myself from beast and man. I was very lucky. The earth had been very generous to me. The vein was absolutely massive, and I had enough material to create basically whatever I wanted, whatever I needed, whatever I thought would help me. So, I put down the raw material I had gathered in the cave for smelting, and then began to craft a chest plate, a pair of leggings, iron boots, and a sword. All tools one needs to survive the wilderness. And that is what I needed to survive. The Empire was well protected. A lot of people, a lot of eyes open, a lot of arms ready to go to war. What I wanted to see was the great beyond, the wilderness. What treasures did this land hold? And what I found was incredible. After crossing over a mountain ridge, I found myself standing on a beach, across which was an island. I made my way to the island. The island seemed lifeless except from the large herbivores roaming the place. There were also structures, but I couldn't tell if they were shrines or remnants of massive beasts that came before. There was nothing there, but then I came across this man. I thought he was a resident of this island and I offered to take joint ownership of the island so that we could develop it. 2 heads are better than 1, of course. But he declined. I don't even know if he was originally from that island or if he followed me from the base. But he refused to give me joint ownership of the island and claimed it as his own. I could have easily attacked him, but I didn't. Violence against other men would only lead to the downfall of civilization. So I set off, on my own, alone, to what I did not know at the time was my end. The server resets. This is all I get in this timeline. But in the next episode I will return, in a different time, and I will have to go to war against other men.